Hey everyone, it's Jason. So today we are going to start the beginning of the Marvel United unboxing sets. So I've already done the base set because that came out as an early release, and then now the rest of the Kickstarter sets have come out. So you have Infinity Gauntlet, Rise of the Black Panther, Tales of Asgard, Guardians of the Galaxy Remix, Enter the Spider-Verse, Return of the Sinister Six, and all the Kickstarter promos, as well as two extra small ones there. So we're going to start the sequence of all the videos. So check out the first one if you want to know more about how the game is played and everything. And I'll kind of address some of it as we go along. But I'm not going to do a full how to play again. So the base game had your Hulk, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, as well as not showing directly on here. It also had the Ant-Man and Wasp, which were Ant-Man and Wasp, which were added in extra outside. They originally weren't going to be in the box, and then they threw them in at the last minute. And then you have the villains of Taskmaster, Red Skull, and Ultron. If you bought this at a Walmart, instead of having the Wasp, you got Venom. Which I guess is an interesting thing. It's sort of weird that you break up Wasp and Ant-Man for a Venom character. Venom is also just included in as the Kickstarter if you got that as one of the promo figures. So I was getting him anyhow. So, I don't remember if I showed off Venom or not, because I did buy an additional box set because I was waiting for this and mine was taking longer than retail. So I did have a Venom. But I don't remember if I showed him in that video or not. And if I did, I'm going to show him again. If I didn't, oh well. Alright, so we're going to start with the first box. And we're just going to start with the Infinity Gauntlet. Which I believe this set and Return of the Sinister Six are Kickstarter exclusive sets. I just realized my camera was still on up and down mode, so hopefully that doesn't mess with too much of the video. Sorry about that. I was just like, why is my stop button on the top instead of on the side? Alright, yeah, so the Infinity Gauntlet and the Return of Sinister Six packs, I believe, were the only two Kickstarter. Every set except for Black Panther, so as Tales of Asgard, Guardians, and Spider-Man all have additional Kickstarter characters in the boxes that other players aren't going to be able to get. But I just added them in here, so it's kind of neat. This product is not a toy. That's hilarious. So Marvel United's core boxes is needed to enjoy this expansion. So this is essentially like a boss mode, is what this is. The only things I did not get from this game that are in the Kickstarter stuff is I did not. Just try and get that out of my screen a little bit. I did not order the placemat. I measured it. It was going to be too big for my table. It's a big, giant, round placemat. I might order it because they have in the next set because they have the Marvel or the X-Men set coming out. But I wasn't too concerned about it, especially because the few times I've played, I haven't even laid down the cards in the proper way you're supposed to, because you're supposed to run them in a giant circle around the table. That's why the placemat's so big. I actually just run my 5 locations. I put them like this. Instead of having a big circle around like my main villain, I just put them in a little like 5x5 thing so me and the other person playing next to me can see them. And then I just run all the cards like in a line, and then like I kind of overlay each one so I can still see which ones they are to pull them out. Anywho, let's jump into this. So we have Marvel United, the Infinity Gauntlet. So we're going to have good old Thanos here, a couple of his Black Order. We're going to have Black Dwarf, Proxima Midnight, and Ebony Maw. So you might be wondering, well, where's Corvus Glaive? He would be one of the other main 4 of the Black Order. He's in the promo packs. He was a Kickstarter unlock when you originally got him. Like you pre-ordered this set right away, you got him. So he's in the Kickstarter box. And then the only other notable member would be Black Swan, who they did not make one of. Alright, so let's crack this open, see what we got. The other thing I didn't order was they had thicker cardboard tokens for all the locations. And I figured, you know what, they don't move. They sit there. I didn't really think I needed them. Again, if they re-release them in the X-Men Kickstarter that's coming out, the X-Men version of this, later this year, maybe I'll buy them. But we'll see what happens. Alright, so the Infinity Gauntlet adds a new mode. It's search for the Infinity Stones. He collects all 6, he'll be unstoppable. Infinity Gauntlet adds a new mode. Embark on a series of 4 games to struggle to keep the stones from Thanos himself. Over the course of the first 3 games, try to defeat the children of Thanos as quickly as possible to prevent too many Infinity Stones from falling into their master's hands. All the while with sparing some effort to unlock power-ups that may be divisive in the confrontation. If you can make it to the end, you'll take the fight directly to Thanos, empowered by the stones collected in the gauntlets. So, how this is supposed to work is kind of like a campaign. You're supposed to play against each one of the other characters that are not Thanos, trying to stop him from getting the Infinity Gauntlets, or Infinity Stones. And then the more you earn, you get to use, like in later battles. The more they earn, the more he gets to use. So it becomes a lot. You know, they recommend you using the characters that come in, but you could generally substitute any villains in here, just like anything else. Or you could just play as the villains as normal. You don't have to use the Infinity. So, in your game, choose one of the children of Thanos. Black Dwarf, Proxima Midnight, or Ebony Maw. Alternatively, you can choose to replace any or all of them with villains in the core box or expansions, bringing different difficulties. Use the 6 regular locations in this expansion, or you can mix other ones in there. That's what I love about this game, is you can mix and match anything fairly easily. Then take all the Infinity Stones, shuffle them, draw 3 cards without looking, insert them in specific positions in the villain's master plan deck. 6th card, 10th card, and at the bottom after the 12th card. In later games, if there's only 1 Infinity Stone card remaining, place it after the 6th card. If there are only 2, after the 1st and the 10th. Or place after the 10th card as well. So that means, like, in the first game, you're going to play 3 cards. And then in the second game, if you rested them, you're going to play 3 more. But and then in the third game, if you still have over 3, you're going to play 3 again. But if you lose any, then you have less to do. The fact the cards back don't matter, it's not an issue. You should know when the Infinity Stone is about to be drawn. Keep Thanos' Master Plan deck face down. And then take 2 random power-up cards of the ones not unlocked by the heroes. Place them into the player at your vertical side up. Place 1 within reach of all players, and the other tucked under the rightmost mission card, so only its bottom is visible. So that's going to be way down here, and then there's the second one. So you have 1 under your power-up over here, and it looks like you have 1 under the last mission. And it also says you can change characters between games. So you're not stuck playing 4 games the exact same heroes if you don't want to. So when the Infinity Stone is drawn from the Master Plan, it has no effect. The villain is found in the Infinity Stone, gives it to Thanos to use against his heroes in the final battle. Take the card, place it face down on top of Thanos' Master Plan, place a corresponding plastic Infinity Stone gauntlet in the gauntlet as a reminder. Then draw the next Master Plan and continue as normal. If the heroes lose the game to the villain, if all 3 Infinity Stone cards in the Master Plan are given to Thanos. Doesn't necessarily mean the heroes have lost the campaign, but winning will be difficult. So not only you have to try and just beat the hero or the villain, you also have to keep them from getting all the stones. But the last card drawn is the last stone. So if they get to that point, they would have won the game anyhow. If the heroes defeat the villain, any Infinity Stone cards remaining in their deck are placed back together with the other unclaimed ones to use step 6 in the next battle. If all 6 stones are replaced on his deck, the gauntlet is complete, he snaps his arrows, and they immediately lose the campaign. And since the first card is 6 cards, in, right? After the 6th card, and then the next one's 10 cards. You have 6 turns to try and beat the villain. So chances are, no matter what, they're always going to probably gain at least 1 stone every turn, or every time. And then we have power-ups. The fully visible power-up contains slots in it to indicate the types of quantities of actions the hero must spend in order to unlock it. So much like playing them on the various cards in the like challenges, you can play other cards to try and unlock some power-ups. Any active hero, regardless of location, can spend a move, action, or hero token to place a power or use a token. They may also use wild symbols, actions, or special effects to fill up the slots. If all the slots are filled, heroes have unlocked a power-up to use in the final battle. Keep this aside next to the Thanos Master Plan deck. So, as you're going through, I can't spend 2 attacks. You can put 1 attack on the power-up. Kind of helps you out. Note that one of the power-up tokens requires a threat token to be complete. When you clear the threat, they may choose to place the associated threat on this power-up card instead of placing it in the cleared threat mission. Power-ups tucked under the rightmost mission are only unlocked if the heroes complete all 3 missions. Keep in mind that it is not necessarily unlocked if the rightmost mission is complete. If that mission is completed before others, simply move the remaining mission cards to the right. As always, the power-up is always tucked under the rightmost cards. You have to beat all 3 of them. At the end of the game, any power-up cards that were not unlocked are placed back to the unclaimed ones to be used in the next battle. After playing 3 games against Children of Thanos, if you keep all stones, you take the fight to Thanos himself. And then it sets up final game mode. So you have mission guides. He has a special gold one. You have to use Thanos for this one. So 6 special Thanos locations. Note these locations should not be used for regular standalone games. Probably because they're either tailored to this mode or they're a little bit more difficult. Shuffle his games. Oh, my camera. My lighting does not want to focus on this right. Alright, there we go. Take all power-up cards of the heroes unlocked over the first 3 games. Place them horizontally side up with a view of all players overlapping each other so only the symbols are visible. So it's going to look like that. Have a few extra heroes ready to the side. 1 less than the starting number of heroes. You may need reinforcements to replace KO'd heroes. Alright, so that's an extra different effect. Alright, so I'm not really explaining how the regular game, just the how the new one goes. So when an Infinity Stone card is drawn from the Master Plan, it is placed into the storyline just like any other card. Effects are powerful and often affects the game. Eliminating heroes. When a hero is KO'd from the fight, they're completely eliminated from the game. Move their piece to the side and their deck away. The player cards remain in the storyline. Players must pick a new hero starting with their next turn as if they've been KO'd, placing their starting piece on the location, drawing 4 cards from the new hero deck. Thanos does not resolve his BAM effect when a hero is KO'd, and heroes lose the game if the number of heroes equals the number of starting heroes. So that's interesting. Activating power-ups. At the start of the resolve step, players must check to see if they gain extra actions to use this turn from unlocking power-ups they have available. Each power-up card lists the symbols required to activate the extra actions they provide. If the hero has the symbols available to them at the bottom of their card, they gain the power-ups listed. So example, Hulk has 2 fists, 1 star, 1 move. the slots available to him. They allow him to activate both power-ups. His turn, so he'll be able to perform 2 attack, because he has this 2 attack power, but it also gives him an extra star. And then he has 1 of each, so it ends up giving him an extra movement. So that's kind of neat. Captain Marvel has 2 and +1. The 2 wilds allow to activate the first and second power-ups, and the extra move and extra attack. Note, she can't use a special effect to give her a second attack necessary, nor can she use the extra one granted by the second power-up. Okay, so you can only use the ones actually on the bottom, not their special abilities. Captain has 2 wilds and 2 attack symbols, allowing to activate both the first and the second, giving him an extra attack move. Note that the extra 2 wilds don't help activate the third, nor can she use the movement and a star granted by power-ups to do so. Alright, so you can't use wild tokens and stuff like that. Alright. Alright, well, that is what we got. Alright, a little bit long of an intro. Just kind of wanted to explain this stuff. I haven't read any of these before, so obviously I don't know what's going on. So let's look at some locations. So we're going to first look at the gold back ones, which are for fighting against Thanos. And then we have some regular ones. So let's look at our regular locations. We can go to Hala. In end of turn, you may swap 1 card from your hand with one of your face-up cards in the storyline. We can go to Gavalier for the Forge of the Dwarves. You may gain 1 strength token. You may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to gain another fight token, not strength. The Sanctum Sanctorum. At the end, you may place 1 action toward 1 action token from the pool on the face-up threat. So if we kind of like think about where some of these were in the Avengers movies, this is where he got his Gauntlet. Hala is where the Nova are from, which is where he got the Power Stone. Sanctum Sanctorum is where Doctor Strange lives, so that's where he attacked to get the Time Stone. Asgard, which they're showing like the Bay version, but this is where he got the Reality Stone. And the Cosmic Cube, which is the Mind Stone. If you have... Mind Stone. No. They changed the colors on me from like the older ones. My wife has a huge issue with this because they're different than like how the comics used to be. What was Loki's scepter? That was the Mind Stone. No, because the Mind Stone's now in Vision. He doesn't have that one anymore. What was the Cosmic Cube? Space Stone. That's what I'm thinking of. If you have 1 or 2 cards in hand, you may draw 1 card. Vormir. This is where the Soul Stone was. You may KO another hero in this location to immediately clear a threat. That's interesting. And then New York, just because it's New York. You may discard 1 action card to draw an action token to draw 1 card. So there are all our different locations. We'll just set those off to the side somewhere. We'll just drop them in the box. Alright, and then what do we have for Thanos? We have Wakanda Fields, where one of the final battles took place. I was trying to see what the little blue thing there was. End of turn, you may gain 1 wild token for each other hero at this location. Sanctuary, that's Thanos' ship. You may move to any other location. Thanos' palace, you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to gain 2 fight tokens. The Quantum Tunnel from Ant-Man. You may swap the position of any 2 heroes of your choice in this storyline. Titan, Thanos' home. You may move Thanos to this location. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can get him right there. And then the Avengers matching, you may draw 3 cards until you have 3 in your hand. I just noticed something else terrible about these cards. All 3 civilians, full of 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 civilians. So every card already comes completely loaded. No thugs, because Thanos doesn't worry about fighting thugs. But he's got all his villains he has to fight. Alright, and then we have some big cards here. So we have the villain dashboard for Thanos. Villain acts after every 2 hero cards. Villain is now vulnerable to damage. And each hero immediately draws 1 card. So that's nothing new. It's the same one as the other one. It's actually, here's one on the other side. We're not really 100% sure why they gave you another one, since the base set's required for this. But they did. Alright, then we have some characters. So we have, let's just zoom in on these a little bit. We have Ebony Maw. I zoomed in, now it won't focus. Alright, so he has special rule. Heroes with crisis tokens must play their hero cards randomly on their turn. Then they discard their crisis token. Well, that sucks. Deal 1 damage and give 1 crisis token to each hero in Ebony Maw's location. And overflow, if 1 or more civilian or thug tokens can't be added to a location, each hero in that location gains 1 crisis token. Oh boy, that could suck. Ebony Maw. Proxima Midnight. Bam, deal 1 damage to each hero at Proxima Midnight's location. Discard all civilians from a location and increase the slaughter track. I like the slaughter track, it's nice. By 1 for each number discarded. Overflow, if 1 or more thug tokens can't be added to a location, deal 1 damage to each hero in Proxima Midnight's location. If a civilian can't be added to the location, increase the slaughter track by 1 for each token you couldn't add. Starts at 0, has to get to 12. When this track reaches 12, heroes lose. So it's kind of like Red Skull's, except his was anything, hers is only civilians. Oh, Proxima Midnight there. We have Black Dwarf. Special rule, when a hero is KO'd, Black Dwarf does not activate his BAM. Instead, he plays another master plan. Oh boy. Bam, deal 1 damage to each hero in Black Dwarf's location. Overflow, if 1 or more civilian thug can't be added, deal 1 damage to each hero. He's all about just straight up doing damage. Which is fine, but I do like the comic book version where he's the big brute, but he's, you know, like a thinker too. Like, he's not like, I'm a genius, but he's still like really, like, he thinks and he does poetry and stuff. Instead of just being the big giant brute. Special rule for Thanos. When a hero is KO'd, Thanos doesn't activate. Instead, the hero is eliminated and replaced by a new hero. Bam! Deal 2 damage to each hero in Thanos' location. 1 damage to each hero in an adjacent location. Overflow. For each thug token that can't be added to this location, turn the leftmost civilian token in that location to a thug. If 1 or more thug can't be added to a location and there are no more civilian tokens, play another master plan. Oh, that's interesting. Because all his things already come full. So as soon as you have to play any of his thugs, they can't be added. You start turning them into thugs. And then if you can't, because all of them are thugs anymore, then you have to play an extra master plan. And they already start loaded, so they're going to flip over fast. If the hero loses, if the number of heroes eliminated from the game equals to the starting number of heroes. So if you're playing a 4-player game, 3 players can get eliminated and come back as a different player. But if the 4th player, even if it's the same player 3 times, they get eliminated a 4th time, the game is over. Alright. Now we got our big old gauntlet here. I know a lot of people had issues with this because it's, you know, they're like, oh, it's a vacuum mold. It's the same stuff you're, you know, like, the game's coming. It's not really sturdy. It's not meant to do anything. Like, I can wear it, I guess, but that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it was to sit on the table and act as a counter. Is it necessary? No. Definitely not. But the idea, and I'm probably not going to put these in the right order. I'm just dropping them in. Yeah, the idea is just it's a neat little gimmick or mechanic. So the orange one has to go there for this, and the yellow one has to go there because they're a little bit bigger. But the other three I can go kind of wherever they want. They're not size. You don't look at this, they're like, I can hold this up they stick in there pretty well. But yeah, it's just an interesting little extra piece. I mean, it's kind of like when you buy some of these games, and they're like, here's this, like, first player marker that's, like, this giant character of the game. Is it necessary? No. Like, you could have had token do the exact same thing. The stones are kind of neat, though, because they are flat on the bottom, so they sit well, but they're kind of, like, not textury, but, like, jaggedy, on the tops. So they're not just, like, the round stones. That's what I was kind of worried about. As I saw images originally like this, and I was like, oh, when we actually get this, it's going to end up being that, you know, like them stones and power stones you get for your games that they have sitting, like a bag of like 50, and they're just like round regular stones, and they're all different sizes and stuff. So like they actually made them nice stones. They look good in there. Like what I really wanted the thing to be like, the gauntlet to be a lot more detailed or whatever. Not really, honestly, just because of the fact that if it was like a bigger, harder plastic, you're gonna have more people wanting to mess around with it. And I guess I can see if this game is aimed at kids. So I can see someone being like, yeah, but my kids are gonna be playing around with this and they're gonna break it. Yeah, well, teach your kids to respect your board games. That's my answer. They need to, you know, it's a good thing to teach kids when they're young. So we're going to start with some power-up cards first. So this one you have to play one of the three and a threat, and then during the end you can gain extra wild token. And then this is what they're going to look like on the backside. So when you beat them, you can just set them like that. So one of these, when you play, will be out and you have to try and complete. The other one goes under the mission. So if you play all three and you win that mission, and you defeat the villain, well, you don't have to defeat the villain even. You just complete the mission, you gain that extra power-up card. And you could add these to other modes as well, if you want to make the game a little bit easier. And just be like, hey, if I complete all these, I gain this bonus. Might not be super viable, because that game you play three and then when you play the last game is when you get access to them. So it's not like you're trying to get them to beat that particular character, but you could use them as something like that. Oh, there's some more Thanos cards. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Get you an extra attack, some extra movements, some extra wilds. Yeah, definitely a neat little extra. Even like the tray here is kind of nice. A little spot for the gauntlet, spot for all the figures, all the stones. And there's a little tray in here to hold the cards, and then this can come out too. It's a neat little touch. I mean, I'll probably use my own storage for all these, but that's, you know, that's here nor there. Alright, so now we're up to Black Dwarf. So let's look at his cards. We have Super Tough. As long as at least one Super Tough is in play, Black Dwarf ignores 1 damage each turn. So he's going to have a couple of those, I'm imagining. We have Chain Hammer. As long as at least 1 Chain Hammer is in play, Black Dwarf's BAM effect also deals 1 damage to each hero in each adjacent location. He needs a lot of heroics to beat these. And Charge. When he lands on a location, on this spot, deal 1 damage to each hero at this location. And then his cards are going to be move 0, do his BAM effect. I'm not going to... They'll probably just skim through these pretty quick. So he gets to move, get some civilians, some thugs, civilians. Not much to read on any of these. Alright, so he's got his power, move 0, Axeman. Deal 1 damage to each hero in Black Dwarfs and adjacent locations. And he's got 2 of those. And then he's got a healing factor. Moves 3, heals up to 3 health up to his starting value. If he is at full health, deal 1 damage to each hero in his location instead. He's got 2 of them. Alright, so that's Black Dwarf. It's not going to take me very long to fly through these cards because there's not a lot of text on any of them. But that's fine. I spent enough time going through the rulebook. Alright, Ebony Maw has telekinesis. Lands on a spot, deals 1 damage to each hero at this location. Persuasion. Each hero in this location takes 1 crisis token. If there are no other heroes here, play another master plan after resolving the current one. Oh boy, so you almost want to have characters where he's at, but how would you know? Because they randomly move. Debilitating Torture. Heroes starting their turns at this location do not get actions from the previous hero in this storyline. Oh boy. So none of these guys so far have, like, henchmen, which I love. That's one thing I'm kind of looking forward to in some of these sets, the henchmen we have. So we have some 0s, some 1s, some 2s. He's got BAM on almost all of his. Oh boy, look at how many jump on that one. Alright, we have Manipulation. Ooh, special move. Move clockwise to the next location with the most heroes. Each hero in Ebony Maw's location takes 1 crisis token. Oh boy, he just forces him to get it. Move 0. Genius Intellect. Immediately play a number of additional Master Plan cards equal to the number of crisis tokens the heroes have. Oh, dang, that would suck. Yeah. Ebony Maw, he's kind of an A. But, hey, they're children of Thanos. This should be a little bit harder mode, right? Alright, Proxima Midnight. Masterful Fighter. While at this location, Proxima Midnight ignores the first attack used against her each turn. Alright. Prisoner Camp. Each civilian in this location requires 1 extra hero to be rescued. And Tactical Support. Heroes in this location suffer 1 extra damage whenever they take damage. Oh boy. Then Proxima Midnight has some 0, some BAM, 1 BAM, 1 BAM, 2 BAMs. It would be interesting if you could, like, mix some of these cards together and create, like, a huge epic thing. Like, you have some Thanos, but then, like, before Thanos pops up, you could have, like, a mixture of some of the different Children of Thanos cards showing them attacking. So instead of, like, if this deck is, what, like, 10 cards or whatever, you have, like, 2 or 3 cards from, like, each member, and they kind of work in conjunction with each other. Be interesting to see the thing. So move to the let's zoom back in a bit. Move to the location with the most civilians. Hunting Spear. Discard all civilians in Proxima Midnight's location and increase their track by the number of discarded. Heroes in their location may take 1 damage for each civilian they want to keep in that location. Oh, and then she wins for having 12 of them, so... And Cleansing. Discard all civilians in both adjacent locations and increase the slaughter track by the number of civilians discarded. Heroes in each location may take 1 damage for each hero they want to keep in their location. Oh, that's crazy mean, too. Alright, and then finally we have good old Thanos. Alright, so he's going to get some allies that are going to come out. So he's going to get his Black Order, the Children of Thanos. So we're going to get Corvus Glaive is going to pop out. And when Thanos moves here, he adds 2 thugs to this location. And then with his ability, that immediately turns them... Yeah, starts turning the civilians to thugs. Oh boy. We have Proxima Midnight. Discard all civilians from this location. If there are no civilians in this location, deal 1 damage to 1 hero anywhere. Black Dwarf. Deal 1 damage to each hero in this location. Ebony Maw. After resolving the current master plan, immediately play another master plan. Oh boy. He has some Chitauri. Discard, or each thug in this location requires 3 additional damage to be defeated. Oh boy, that makes that hard. So we have Thanos. His 0 just bams. 1 bam, 1 bam, 2 bam. All of his are only going to play thugs. They're only playing 1 each, so it's not so terrible. Like now the harder ones are getting 2. Thanos' Mercy. Discard 1 civilian from Thanos' location and from both adjacent locations. Well, that's kind of helpful. Just because it keeps him from changing them over. Well, this is interesting though. This one has a 1 turn, and then this one has a 2 move. Mad Titan. Thanos heals up to 5 health up to his starting value. Deals 1 damage to each hero in his location. And then he has this one. He heals up to 5 health again, but he has movement of 4. Alright. I don't think I've seen that in any of the other ones where they have different effects like that. Then the last thing we have are the 6 Infinity Stones. Alright, so I have a Space Stone. Infinity Battles. Place this card on Thanos' deck and play another master plan. Thanos. From now on, heroes must ignore 1 movement each turn. Oh, it's just saying during the original battles, this is what you do. Alright, so Thanos, from now on, heroes must play their hero card randomly on their turn. That would suck. Thanos gains 6 health. He may go above his starting value. Soul Stone. Reality Stone. Put all already completed mission cards back into play. I just read that and I got depressed. Oh my. Time Stone. Play 2 other Master Plan cards in sequence. And then the Power Stone. Deal 1 damage to each hero in the game. Oh boy, I mean, I know they're supposed to be abusive, but come on, guys. Alright, let's look at the miniatures before we move on. So we have Ebony Maw. He's like raising up some stones telekinetically. She's kind of standing on some stones too. That's cool. We got Black Dwarf. His big old grimacing face and his big old giant chain battle axe. About to stomp some heroes. Proxima Midnight. Her big old spear. Her cocky, even like the cockiness of her grin. She's just like, I got this. I'm not worried. That flowing hair is pretty cool. And then finally we have the Mad Titan himself. The Courter of Death. Thanos, you know, look at him. He's all just pissed off. He's like, I got my gauntlet. That's definitely cool. Yeah, it should be interesting to see like who you want to play these guys against. Like if you want to try and recreate some of the battles from the movies, or how you want to do that. It's like up against like Ebony Maw, you could have like Iron Man and Doctor Strange, and stuff like that. And then like Proxima, you could have like it could be like the Vision and Scarlet Witch. Then you could do, of course, a lot of people fought the same guys. So kind of, you know, it'd be interesting. Alright, so that is what we got for Marvel United Infinity Gauntlet. This may be a little bit longer video than some of the other ones, just because, 1, there's a whole entire new mode I had to read about. And 2, I spent a little time at the beginning just talking about the game. But yeah, check out all the rest of them. All the rest of the things. I'll hopefully try and keep pointing out when stuff is Kickstarter exclusive. See you guys later. Bye.